it's very likely that you are already or about to see a bunch of more headlines about Israel and recent stuff with pagers. I just want to explain what's going on. Let me rephrase that. I can't explain what's going on, but I can tell you what has happened. I can't explain it. At time of recording yesterday, a whole bunch of pagers that Hezbollah in Lebanon were using exploded, like all of them at the same time. And it was very obviously a coordinated attack, and it looks like Israel basically put explosives in a bunch of devices that were ordered a while ago. Of course, this kind of attack is reckless and has no care for collateral damage. Anyone could have been holding these devices, anyone could have been near these devices, and innocent people died, including a child. There was then a funeral for some people who died from yesterday's attacks, in which more devices exploded, killing more people at the funeral. More than just that funeral, too. There was a mobile phone store that blew up because their stock blew up, and there was also a girl who was injured by a solar power device that also exploded elsewhere in the country. Israel is coming out and saying that they are entering a new phase of the war, taking a new front and going into Lebanon, fighting against Iran, basically just expanding their current front. I'm not going to sit here and identify which ideological paramilitary group is my favorite, but I will say that Hezbollah exists largely because of Israel's intrusions into the places around them. It's more of the same story. Oh, these people are so evil, they're so bad because they attack us. Why won't they just leave us alone? Let's ignore the fact that they exist because we're trying to settle their land. Let's ignore the fact that they exist in part because we are disenfranchising the Palestinian people. Sorry, not disenfranchising. Eradicating. It's the kind of thing where political bluster has largely just landed us in a place where you can't possibly say something remotely thoughtful about a certain group without being branded as a militant of some kind, but it's still propaganda. The US and Western nations are not exempt from doing all of the things that they're constantly pointing fingers at for other countries. But one of their favorite plays is to take a group and label them as a terrorist organization so that any remote discussion about why that group even exists is shut down. You're harboring terrorists. I can't believe you would side with the terrorists. Wow, you must not be a real American because you're considering the needs of the terrorists. I want to be clear that that doesn't mean that every group labeled as a terrorist by the US is secretly righteous, but it's more of the same rhetoric that leads us to the place where it's like, oh, you're against Israel? How dare you hate Jews? Like, that's just obviously not the same sentiment. It's propaganda, because Israel is a Western colony in that region, and they want to preserve it. That said, even Blinken, the Secretary of War for the US, is like, this is a escalation that we weren't expecting. He's like, this might hamper ceasefire talks. Hey y'all, maybe stop blowing up random pagers? To which Israel said, fuck you. We're gonna blow up everything. This is all breaking, this is all coming out right now. Everything that I talked about is just recently published in the past few hours. My sources are largely the Associated Press, but you can really easily validate this information anywhere. I don't know what happens next. I'm not gonna pretend to even remotely have the answers there. There's a lot of information flying around right now. That's the best I've been able to summarize. Take care, be well, and remember that for each one of those lives lost, that was a life. Just like yours, the one that you're experiencing. All right,